Welcome back at the MOSFest 2014. We are here with Sasha Koren from the New York Times. She's an editor there. She just ran a session on commenting. It's a really important issue because we don't know how to engage communities. And I guess first question is, what is commenting on the web? What is commenting and engaging people on the web?
Well, I think that's a question that's evolving and that we're trying with a new grant money from the Knight Foundation and in a partnership that the Times is doing with the Washington Post and Mozilla Open News to try to broaden the possibilities for what commenting and community can be on the web, but digitally and on mobile and in digital spaces around news. So that was sort of the basis for this session. We wanted to get a lot of people together to sort of give their ideas and do a lot of thinking about and help us think about the possibilities of community, both with comments and with sort of other possibilities and what would make it better. So we came up with a lot of really fabulous ideas that we will have to put our heads together and sort of think about.
Any examples?
Well, one was to meet communities where they are. So to not say, we're only going to have community on our site or within our apps. We're going to recognize that there are people who want to talk about things off-site, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Reddit, and try to integrate those into our conversation. And also offline communities. That was a big theme that came out of it. There were about we had breakout groups, and there were about 4 of them who mentioned reaching out to communities that already exist, offline even, and saying, we want your participation and we want to learn from you. Third thing that was really interesting was moving community to the center of the journalism rather than the periphery. So having it be something that was at the center of a news site, that news could be built around community rather than the other way.
Even the web now, unfortunately, is built on the contrary, on the opposite side, where you have silos, where you have each journalistic platform, each media has one system which doesn't talk to another. So having a cross-platform conversation, unfortunately, doesn't happen. So what would be the trick around that?
So you're talking about mobile versus desktop, that kind of thing, or platforms like Twitter and Facebook? Yeah, I mean, we'd have to do a lot of experimenting to see what works. Some of it might be hand curation, having an editor go out and pick the kinds of responses around a story or around an article that they thought were most relevant and interesting. That's the obvious one, but there may be other ways of being able to sort of use different kinds of technology to sniff out pieces of language and bring them back in, or just to do research ahead of time to sort of find out where those communities are and then build some kind of integration tool around that. I'm not sure yet. That's the exciting piece of this, is that we just haven't built it yet, but the possibilities are there.
And you are at MOSFest on that thematic of open web, using badges, using personas, using different sign-ins. You have technology which is being created now, which offers this kind of platform. Have you tried already to try to look at these new solutions developed actually here and through Mozilla's community? Have you tried to look at that already?
I'm sorry, I'm not quite getting the...
I was trying to say that we have, with open badges, the community of people developing various decentralized approach to this. Yeah. You have a big community here at MOSFest, for example, trying to develop things around badges. Have you tried to look at this kind of tech?
Yeah, well, I think we haven't yet. We're just getting going. We haven't actually integrated any... We haven't sort of approached that problem per se, or that solution. But we are making this an open source project. So one of the big questions is what we do around identity, and open badging is definitely could play a piece in that. Letting users own their own identity, own their own contributions, maybe having a centralized place to sort of keep track of that is something that we'll be considering really heavily. We want to make it very user-centered and make it very useful for users as well as for news organizations, as well as for readers who like to get something from the contributions of other readers but don't necessarily want to contribute themselves.
Thank you so much for talking to us. This was Mark for Vision TV. Thank you for watching.